The ashes of the era of the Thousand Kingdoms are long cold. Oresa, the city of the gods, stood for centuries. But now that the divine rulers are gone, all types of people have begun to flock there, lured by the promises of riches and glory. Mercenaries, ambassadors, cultists. People come here to ask for help, offer services, or conclude other nefarious deals. Few are bold enough to descend into the ruins of the city of the gods. But they are all looking for something. Adventure, personal quests, or wealth. Ultimately, we are all drawn here to unravel what lies beneath Oresa.
Good day, lords and ladies. Welcome to a corner's first look for Beneath Oresa. Beneath Oresa is a game developed by Broken Spear Inc. and published by Robbins Publishing. It is a roguelike deck builder. And interestingly enough, I play a lot of roguelike deck builders, to be honest. I've played a number on my channel over the years. And I really like Beneath Oresa. It does something a bit different. It also has, just to be honest, a much nicer animation sequence for how combat works and some of the things that go into it. But if you go on Steam and you look at the reviews on Steam, barring some which call it shallow and the like, which I don't really agree with, the overriding feel is that this game, Beneath Oresa, is a bit of a flawed jewel, or a jewel still in the rough. I should also say that this is my copy. Was a press copy sent to me by the publishers. So please be aware of that before we go in. But what do I mean by being a flawed jewel? Well, even though it has been in early access a while and it has released, I believe, on the 27th of September of this year, it still has issues with bugs. So if you buy this game going in, be aware that there are bugs, and there are some game-breaking bugs, which I myself have suffered. Does this make it a bad game? No. If it didn't have the bugs, I think it would be much better, and I do think the developers need to basically get some of these bugs which cause game-breaking issues solved rather quickly, to be honest. So then I think the game would be much higher in its rating than it is now. So how does the game work? Well, it's relatively your standard deck builder, which is that you basically have several character types. We've had the character packs which are unlocked to get into certain levels. You don't actually. One thing I will say is, unlike a number of other deck builders that I've played over the years, this one is pretty much automated when it comes to unlocks. Everything is done pretty much by your character level. And so just getting the amount of XP to get to the next level unlocks new cards, new artifacts, new characters. So it's pretty much automated. New mission types as well. The basic story of Oresa, or Beneath Oresa, is, as you saw in the intro, they claim it's a city of the gods. It seems a much more sci-fi. They don't really talk about the story that much in the game. You basically are living on the top of a series of ruins of some past highly advanced civilization, or maybe even gods, you're not sure, and you delve down into the ruins beneath your city to basically investigate. So let's first of all check out the options. Quite simple. Nice range of languages, and you have tooltips, delays, and that kind of thing. You have VSync, screen resolutions, which are nice range. It's always nice to see. Full screen option, high and low quality. Metrometric lighting, which we can mess around with if we want, and then you have basic sound controls. So it's not bad. Nothing too complex, but not missing anything that's actually necessary. They do have a nice help section of how you play the game, how the different factions in the game work, and all different sort of effects and card words. and how they work. I will say I do think they should have like a playable tutorial for each faction, just so you can get over the mechanic, because otherwise you do pretty much need to read the help button here, press the help button, purely because the character descriptions don't really describe how things work. So I've played for about 6 or so hours, and you have basically these different sort of quests given to you to complete. And the deeper you go in, the harder they become. Basically, some of them add certain cards to your deck, some of them add limitations like maximum XP, HP, and minimum starting health, all this kind of thing. Let's go with this one, which is we're trying to basically break through, complete a mission to unlock new challenges. And the thing is, I would have completed a mission, but basically the game bugged, and as you can see, I couldn't complete the run, which is annoying, because the game, unless you get a good run, the game can be quite hard to complete on the higher levels of difficulty. And here is Agora. Since the gods abandoned Oresa, all the types of people are going to gather in Agora: mercenaries, cultists, knights, ambassadors. People come here to ask for help, submit contracts, and offer their services. Hopefully, if we can complete the story, we'll get something new. But let's go with this one. Basic difficulty, exploration, apprentice of the Midicum. So, here is basically how the game works. You have 3 factions. You have the Tainted Ones, you have House Agisia de Faraday, the Guild of the Runefarers, and they all play differently. Each faction plays differently, but each character in the faction will work differently to each other. For example, Sora, her special ability, Unleash the Cobalt Curse, works differently to, say, Jokan, whose absolute violence mechanic basically works differently. Them underlying traits, for example, combat Cobalt Curse, will basically be the same, but their cards are different, and their sort of unique ability is different. For example, you have the Meridia, basically see like Doltar basically have the counter-attack mechanic, but his is Whisper of Tirnil, and hers is Scion of Ice. Personally, I find a good way of farming XP early is Jokan, my personal favourite at the moment, which is of the Tainted House, purely because he's a very aggressive build, and I found a lot of success with him. I almost completed the game, the first mission I had. I nearly completed the first mission with him, but the game crashed. So, pick the character you want to have. I'm going to pick Jokan for this, and then you basically pick your companion. Now, all the companions start, basically, for example, you start off with Sora, and so you'll have a different companion, but what you do is that you basically pick someone that you have who gives you a passive ability. Some of them will be, for example, like this, will give you deals 5 non-lethal damage per floor to each foe, gain Zarkan specials, antiquariums, which are basically relics that you equip to your character. But I find Doltar is actually a really good combination to have, because if you go with Doltar, it allows you to farm XP relatively good early on, relatively efficiently early on, I should say. I should also say, as again, these are all unlocked as levels, so new characters become unlocked at new levels, new items become unlocked at new levels, so you don't actually unlock anything yourself. It's all about XP and progression. So just keep that in mind. So let's grab him. We'll grab Doltar, and off we go into the ruins. So, standard sort of roguelike. You have a map that you go along. Sometimes you get choices about where you want to go. You can hover over what will be here, and it's just quite a similar sort of card base. If anyone's played Slay the Spire, you sort of know what you're getting into. So let's first of all, because sometimes, first of all, when you go into a fight, you always get presented 2 options, which will normally be actual standard deck builders. Some of them will have positives, some of them will have negatives, depending on how much you want to push it. Let's just get our character healed up. And this is how the game works. So, here we are. Everything's animated, which I really like the look of. How Jokan works is that he has a virus Cobalt Curse. Your virus meter is equal to the amount of viruses in your deck. Each fight, gain a special card when reaching 5, 10, and 15. What it doesn't say, unfortunately, is that you basically get +1 for basically using red cards to attack. It doesn't explain this, which I really do think it needs to. It is one of the things held against the game, I will say, is that the wording on the cards and the lack of explanation on how certain character mechanics works can be problematic. So, first things first, we need to basically deal with these two guys. Now, in this game, you have close and far enemies. So enemies that are right up close to you count as being close, and enemies that are this distance away, as we can see here, with this swordsman and this gunner. Vicious Bruiser and Raging Grunt are considered far away, so certain cards will work with them. What I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to put some armor on myself. Everything is done. Everything's animated as well, which is nice, and the combat is animated, so you get a lot more sort of impact, which I like. The game feels more meaty when you're doing the card system. So first of all, let's punch an enemy. Very nice. You can see we slam into him. And let's finish up with a nice left hook to finish him off, and then we will end our turn. You have default 3 actions. You can get more actions. It's basically your standard deck building action economy. You have 3 actions. You can gain more actions depending on what you play, and certain cards cost more or less. You have an armor bar here indicated by the shield. Your health bar is the green underneath your name, and underneath that you have basically your passives. For example, every time we attack, we increase our fury, which basically means our damage goes up, and we have our passive, which is absolute violence, which explains that. You also have the cards that are still in your draw pile that you have access to, and the cards that you have in your discard pile. And certain classes work more importantly. You also have up here in the corner how basically various things work. So you can go through, and it's just like a simple overlay, like how saves work. You can save anytime outside of a fight. If you try and save during a fight, you forfeit the zone. You also have distances. Here you go, 2 distances. You have near and far. There's no specific action for changing zones. To move into a zone, you must attack a foe in that zone with melee attack. So yeah, zone like movement in this game is quite important, though it's not sort of overwhelmingly so. So like he shot me, and unfortunately we don't have the damage to basically deal with him. So let's just armor up. He's going to hit us, and once again, this is something with the curse class. You have these what you call virus cards because of your condition. Certain cards use them, for example, like here, emergency decompression. We can get rid of all of our viruses to get our armor up, and it's a nice way of building up your passive armor, which is always really good. When you do a melee attack at range, your character are moving closer and basically do that melee attack, so it's a way of allowing you to get around the field. Okay. All of these cards, oh man, all these cards are really good for our character, for Jokan. Escape Rust is always really useful, especially for allowing you to put armor on, because this character is highly aggressive playstyle. So, in this game, you have, on the world map, you have 4 kinds of encounters. You have regular encounters, scavenging, which is basically what you have here, which is basically gives you a choice of, do you want to take a card out? It basically normally gives you either a single choice or multiple. Then you'll have stuff like regrouping, which is like a rest spot. You will then also occasionally have elite fights. Some of them will be mandatory elite fights, some of them will be optional elite fights. They normally give better rewards. At the end of every floor, like most roguelike deck builders, you will have basically a boss fight. So, in scavenging and regrouping options, you always see your companion's abilities, like how much he favors you. You basically have to unlock them by doing certain actions. What I will do is I will upgrade a card. None of these are great, to be honest. I'll draw a card, and we'll remove a card from play. I'm not a massive fan of an original pattern, partly because each round gain 3 shield for each virus in hand, which is fine, but this doesn't seem quite to work the way it's intended. Because if this card is discarded by the end of the turn, lose 12. I don't know how this card works. So one of the issues this game has is that from reading it, each round gain 3 armor for each virus in hand. So it's like, okay, do I leave the virus in hand? It doesn't work like that. I don't know how this card works, and I don't particularly like it, so I tend to get rid of it to focus on other defensive cards. And just to reduce my card draw. So here we go. Another choice we have, we can do the high ground, which is bonus energy, or we can just heal. I tend to try and keep our healing up. Okay, so you're here, which is going to buff yourself. But let's first of all do escape rush and zoom over here. We'll then get a bit of armor, and he's got to armor up, which is not great. But we can knock him flying. We can get a bit of armor. Yeah, he's got fury increases by this value. So he buffed that. So let's just armor up and take the hit. I do like the animation style. It makes things feel a lot more alive. Let's punch him again. And then we'll throw up some armor. We do have a bit of bleed on the draw. Draw 1 card. If this card is discarded at the end of the turn, take 4 non-equal damage. That's fine. And then we'll just punch him again to finish him off. Okay, so. Which card do we want? In this, you can also hold down Alt or right mouse button to basically see what they upgrade into. Corrupting Jolt is not bad. Deceiving Shadow isn't bad either. Let's go with Deceiving Shadow. Okay, so here's a rest point. Oh no, here's another scavenge one. Okay. So you can either remove a card, or you can basically heal 15 of your HP, which we don't, 15% of your HP. I'm actually fairly unhappy because I was hoping for a companion unlock, especially if you want to do a boss fight soon. But let's grab a relic and get rid of a card. I am going to basically... We haven't got a lot of armor cards right now. I will get rid of a basic virus armor. And we do get this one, which actually Pain Propagator is actually a relatively nice artifact to get. These vicious devices seem to have once had a religious purpose, but they also happen to work very well in combat. When a foe is destroyed, each foe takes 8 non-lethal damage and 1 weakness. Non-lethal means that basically it will hurt them, but you can't kill enemies with it. Okay. So, here we go. I will increase my level of Doltar, because basically it allows me to go into elite fights and be much more effective in elite fights. Choose a card, an unrivaled card, upgrade to 1 of 6 cards. Okay, so choose a new technique. Always gain rage, which is not bad. Draining feedback. If this card is destroyed, if the attack destroys its target, lose 2. If our rage's at the 6, dodge in motion is actually pretty nice. Getting an automatic rage. Let's grab that. We learn a new technique in Symbiote. It's not bad. Gain 1 charge every round. 3 charges gain 1 volatile injector. It's not great. And then we've got an upgrade. So 15 if the foe is far, or gain 15 then gain 10 if a foe is far. So basically, this one gives us gain 7 armor, then gain 7 armor per far foe. Or we can gain 15 armor per far foe. Which basically means this one becomes really... This option makes it really powerful for a lot of ranged foes. This one limits the amount of damage we get. So I will basically get it so it's much more an offensive based one. So we're going into a fight now. So we have a choice. We can either fight a normal foe or fight an elite foe. We're going to fight an elite foe. And this one is basically a horde one, so it's going to be a lot of enemies are turning up and new reinforcements are joining the fight. Okay, this isn't great, to be honest. So let's just go straight in. And... I'm going to basically... I didn't want to hit that. One thing I will say, it is really easy to mess up. Yeah, I messed this up. It's really easy to press the wrong button on the keyboard, and you just can't click on an enemy. You have to press the mouse buttons, the keyboard buttons. So we are going to take some damage. It's not a huge issue. We'll get some armor. Let's take the range unit out. We get the Cobalt Surge, which basically means we can do a bunch of other things. Take him out. Take him out, which is nice. And we kill him before any more reinforcements there. I was going to say before any more reinforcements turn up. Apparently not. Okay. We're going to have to tank, unfortunately. And because we have viruses left in our hand, it will damage us. So I am going to degrade some of it a little bit by playing it. And we still took damage, eh? And he's tanking as well, which sucks. Got no easy way of getting through his armor. Not playing particularly great, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, let's do Cobalt Rust and hope we actually get some more offensive cards. It's one of the issues with shielding enemies in this game. I find that you can become really sort of stuck behind it. Now, every time you do an elite boss fight, you tend to get really nice rewards. So, Ring of Brilliance, also Belligerence. When the combat begins, around the deck in the deck deals 20 extra damage until played. Recycling resources. Each time the deck is reshuffled, gain 15 armor. If blooded, gain 1 armor when you play an attack. That's actually not bad. Blooded is when you're below half health. Well, this is when the combat begins around the card. Okay. I tend to go quite an offensive build with this character. Let's get our companion up. So we get now plus 30 armor at the beginning of boss fights. Yeah, let's go prepared. On the first round, discard 1 card at random to get a better reward out of it. So what are we facing? Robots. Okay. Let's armor up, and we're going to go straight in and start punching this thing. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's going to be a booster for something else. Okay. Also, by doing it this way, we can keep ourselves armored. Okay. I do like the animation. Man, they still keep on poisoning us. This is not great. Let's go Cobalt and see if we can take an enemy out of the equation. We took a little bit of damage from the viruses, and we just got loads of things. Nothing. Okay. Man, I've got like nothing that I can play right now. Okay, I need another, that's a consumable. Rage. Overcoming Pain is a nice card as well, but I need more attack cards. Right. Heal up. Upgrade a card or get companionship. The thing is, if we do a lot of boss fights, which is a really good way of farming XP with this combo, you really want to go hard into the companion mechanic. Right. Yeah, let's heal up. So we're mostly healed and we're going to the boss fight and we're fighting these guys. Now, these guys aren't so bad. The electrical enemies in this game, Mage Psylink, when a foe is destroyed, all foes take 65 damage, which is actually pretty nasty. So let's try and finish this guy off as soon as possible. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be able to easily kill him, unfortunately. Which means we're going to take damage. A little bit of damage. It's not great. Channel to nil. Let's see if we can get something good out of this. So let's heal up. Yeah, it's him. We actually want that. Because he's going to die anyway. Let's keep punching him in the face. You can see what I meant by this character class is really heavily built around... I'm going to play this. I also have no... I've got no armor up, so this is going to hurt. Took a bit of damage. Nothing major though. So we got an artifact. First foe to act each combat game suffer either 1 weakness or 4 to 8 non-lethal damage each round. Each combat, the first time you attack a foe, it gains gain 2 aggression when this foe is destroyed. Okay. So you can see what I mean here. Some of the descriptions are a bit vague. The wording could be improved. Each elite and champion combat draw 3 cards and discard 3 cards. Yeah. Heal, upgrade, remove a card, gain an aquarium. We're going into a boss fight as well. Man, we haven't had a lot of companion stuff, to be honest. My deck also isn't great. I'll go and try and grab a card. It's not great. Bit disappointed. Okay. Gotta rush. Right, select. Okay, discard 3 cards. We'll discard that one. Discard that. And discard that. Because we need to basically end this fight quick. So who's the toughest bloke here? They're all pretty tanky, to be honest. I shouldn't have discarded that, okay. So, we need to basically just about finish him. And then we will armor up some more. Okay, so neither of them are tanking just yet. Let's try cunning, because I haven't got anything that's really working for me right now. Let's go with that. And then we'll basically punch him. Gives us a bit more armor. I do like the animations in this game. He's shielding up. And we haven't got a ton of anything going on. Let's see what we get. Nope. So we've got to take damage this turn. No way around it. Not as much actually, so that's good. But he's blocking. I should have just done a Savage Punch. Why didn't I just do a Savage Punch? Ah well. Bit of a missed opportunity on my part. I took too much damage. So Peacemaker, Aragot. Each round, each foe loses 1 anger and 1 temporary fury and 1 fury. Each combat, if you are bloody, drain 10 HP from a random foe. Now let's go with that one to reduce enemies' fury. We're getting to a rest point. I need a heal because we've got to go into a boss fight. Okay, enemy's got a straight up normal encounter. Yeah, we'll go spoils. We get an injector which we can use, which is a consumable. Okay. This isn't great, to be honest. Yeah, we're gonna have to tank. Right. Let's get our armor up. More action. Take a little bit of damage, that's fine. Oh, we had to punch this guy because it's becoming turboed. But we can still punch him, which will cause damage to echo over to him. Get some armor up. Take a little bit of damage. I was hoping sometimes it's a really good card that pops up. But unfortunately it's not happened this time. Let's use this consumable. Let's do that to get some armor. Cobalt stance. It's not great. I'm going to burn away this and get myself some healing. He's only going to do a couple bits of points of damage to us, which is fine. Yeah, we're taking a lot more damage. I just can't. Yeah, took more damage than I'm happy with. Misty Step. Overventing isn't so bad if we can get our rage up, but we just don't have the attack cards yet. And we're actually facing probably one of the nastier early level bosses, the Horde, to be honest. The Horde is a pain. Let's drop. Yeah, I know what I'm going to drop. Come on, give me what I need. Get our early attack up. And we need to basically start wrecking face, to be honest. Man, I didn't do that. I should have done. And yeah, because now we're going to take a ton of damage. Okay. We'll then get this up. And then we'll go in and punch him to death. Just keep piling on the damage. Actually, the combo works really well if we get lucky. And then he's pulling in the next wave of enemies. Which isn't great for us. Yeah, we've got to take some damage from this. Let's get our armor up. What do I need? I've not got a lot I can do. Let's try and basically do at least play something that we can start working on. He's got to drop that, which is going to be a ton of damage. He's calling in reinforcements. My heat. Is my heat up? Yeah, so let's do this. Take care of him. And then run over here and punch him. Cobalt, let's see if we can get some energy. Nope. Took a hit. More foes turned up. Okay. And I haven't got a ton of things that I can play right now. They're rushing into attack. Okay. Punch him in the face. Punch him in the face. I'm still going to take damage. Not a lot I can do about this. Man, these guys just keep coming. Let's armor up. We'll still take a tiny bit of damage. We'll block. I just need another attack card to finish him off. There we go. And there we do. And that's our reward. So when you complete a boss fight, you get basically 5 rewards, but you only can pick one and only the first 2 are revealed. So what you can do is you can reveal a new one at the cost of a previous card. So Unstable Cells, Piercing Wind. That's not a bad card. Play 3 attacks in 1 round and gain 1 energy once per round. Now I'm going to go Unstable Cells. But then you go, floor 2. Each run is made up of 3 floors. If I was going to say one thing about this game, the lack of enemy variety so far, I'm not in particularly like. I wish there would be more enemies, like enemy types, because so far I've run into the same few enemy types, a few like all the time. But it might be because I'm not far enough into the story. Like the more dangerous enemies haven't come out. That could be something. So here we go. Floor 2. We've got more enemies incoming, and the intensity does go up. So first things first. Let's punch him. And punch him away. I mean, I'm going to take a ton of damage no matter what I do, but I want to try and get at least the biggest damage dealer out of the way first, and let's get a little bit of damage reduction. Man, we're actually getting a pretty bad break this early on. Here we go. Plight. Plight is a really good one to get. Because it means we can nuke an early level, like a high-end boss quite quickly early on. Or high-end foe quite early on. Let's go Cobalt Stance, see if we get some energy. No, let's block. So we take no damage and we've healed up, which is nice. A whole ton of armor, so they can't do anything to us this turn. It means that if we want to, we can do something like this. Yeah, let's purge one of these cards and take one of those guys out. This actually is a really good combo, actually. We're making quite good headway. We are going to take some damage from this, unfortunately. But my experience with this game is very much it's all about damage mitigation. It's all about trying to mitigate the amount of damage, never fully stopping it, because you can't ever really stop it. So all you can do is try and mitigate how much you take. There we go. Not bad. Got a nice reward. In your face is nice if the target's far. Escape Rush is actually really powerful. I really like Escape Rush. What is involved into? Escape Rush is good because you can just zip around the field. Right. I am going to grab Increase Companion by 1, so we get each elite fight heals us, and we get max HP increase, which is nice. Increase a card cost by 1 and give it limited. No, let's just lose an Aquaman and gain an Aquaman. At the end of each fight, at the end of each of your turns, take 2 non-lethal damage if blooded. Gain. That's not great. Blooded only works at your 50% or lower health bar, so I'm just going to kick it. So it's a net flat for nothing. Okay. So we're just going to do this boss fight quickly. So some more stuff on each round. On the first round, equal chance if you draw 2 or take. Now let's just go no effect. Okay. So these guys are up here. Let's start by getting some damage ongoing. We're not going to be able to block everything, so let's just try and kill this guy as quickly as possible because he heals foes. Let's try and get some armor up. It's not going great, but we can always do stuff. Okay. So he's buffing his allies. That's never great. Let's Cobalt and see if we can get. Yeah. Here we go. Take a bit of damage. What I'm hoping for is that card, because this is basically a automatic heal for us, which we can hold in our deck. So let's start by... We'll armor up. Not really what I wanted to do, but it will basically better than nothing. We'll play this, and then we can play this card and get some healing. Now what do we have here? At the fight start, if this card is in the deck, gain 1 raid, controlled propagation. Defensive override is really good, depending on how you're playing with it. But yeah. So, this is a good place to end it, folks. I really do like this game. I think it shows a lot of promise. Only thing I will complain about it is the fact that it is buggy. It's buggy, and that impacts just how much fun you can get out of the game. I do like the animation style. I like a lot of things, which shows you how long I've gone in on doing this Corner's first look of it. But if you've liked Beneath Oresa, it's on Steam. I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.